Okay, guys, so welcome to our live analysis session. Today is Monday, the 5th of July. All right, we need to get things cracking as soon as possible, so let's get it going. Now, it's been an interesting couple of days in the market, but now I think it's getting more serious because we're getting the short that we want. Now, I usually wouldn't start off with crypto, but I have to because the price is doing what we're waiting for. So let me come back to the price action here. So I'm going to start with Bitcoin. All right. On the weekly here, guys, so we've had the price action that we want. So last week, we ended with a stop hunt of the previous week's high right here. This is the spike we've had. And now the price has just done an RTO. So if I use the M30, you see a bit better. On the M30 here, the price has returned back up to this region right here. And so we should be looking for a short. Okay. So I'm expecting the price to give us some short action very, very soon, even more. But we're not taking a short from here. Where we're going to take the short from is here instead. So I'm waiting for the body of once the price closes beneath this 32,530 to 560 and we have the return. You can either trade Bitcoin, put your stop loss above, or what I'm going to be doing is doing the same thing but with Dogecoin. So if I go to the H4 here, Dogecoin on the H4 is inside of our H4 area as well. We've had such a strong short happen with Doge, massive short. And now the price is kind of pulling up again for a pullback, which is natural. But after we get the pullback here, we should be looking for one more short. Now, there is a chance in a sense to go for a short from higher up here. But I'd rather just let the price wait for, I'll wait for the price to just give us this break beneath here. Once we get the break beneath here, then there's no stopping the price from going anywhere apart from short. So I'm watching the price action very carefully and closely. And let's see how the price behaves once we get the short action going forward. So I'm watching this here. I want to see how the price behaves. I want to see how the price moves. And we can make it from there. So I'm watching. See, I'm watching the price action from here. I'm going to pull the price back down from this area and then a return on the other side. And then we go from a short from here. So Dogecoin is almost ready. And so is Bitcoin. They're almost ready now. This happened quite quickly in the night, but as I told you guys, no matter what you're hearing on the news, we had a reoptimization of demand. No matter what, however they put it, the price was going to go short anyway. All right, now we need the price to get down. Now, once it gets beneath 29, guys, then it's a free for all, and the price shouldn't come back up for a good while. We have gaps to fill on Bitcoin quite far down from where the price is, but you can see how strong the movement is. In almost half a day, we've done almost 2 days worth of price action in half a day. So that's how bearish the market is, no matter what they tell us on the news. Sadly, it's not time for a bull run at the moment. It's time to sell. But because most people investing in crypto don't trade crypto, sometimes they just find scenarios of looking for where the price is going to buy. But right now, it's time to sell. So be prepared. Ethereum's the same thing, but again, I'm not trading Ethereum. I prefer to trade things that are easier to go for. So we have Doge as one option. The third option that we have here, and bring this up for you guys. Where is it? Here we go. So the third option, okay, there's more than three options, but I'll go bit by bit. So we've had Litecoin, which has also done a stop hunt here in a massive drop. Litecoin is almost the same. It comes up to your preference, okay? Litecoin is one of the easier ones to trade as well because the price action is quite simple. We have a tiny little H4 area here. That's all we need. Once the price breaks beneath here, we can go for a short. Okay, but we got to follow Bitcoin. If you don't see Bitcoin break that H4 area, then don't trade any of the altcoins if you're not in a short already. All right, because then you're putting yourself at risk of the price reversing on you. So Litecoin has another small area here. And I guess with the stop loss, it will be quite tight if you get a good one. If you get a good one right here, stop loss quite tight over here. If you did 0.01, it will cost you £1, but your first target will give you about 18. So With this, I guess if you, depending on your account size, you could do quite a bit here. I'm gonna watch out to see what the price does, but as the price is making its way short, my eyes are still on Bitcoin. Really, I just want to see what Bitcoin does when it gets here. I know there's equal lows at this candle. I just want to see the body close and return. Once we see that, then we're free to short it. And once we short it, it's not coming back for a while. This is all I want to see. So in terms of hodling, if you're buying coins, that's why I told you guys for now. That's why I'm not talking about buying coins for now. That's why in the sessions I'm focusing and just more on keeping you guys updated on what's going on, because it's not time for buying tokens, trust me, or cryptocurrencies. Whether currencies or tokens, whichever they are, just hold off for a little bit. There's not gonna the only coins that are pumping right now are the coins that are they have a term for them, but I can't use that term because I don't want to be vulgar, but they're just not good coins. They're what we call rubbish coins. So I don't think it's a good idea to go and buy any crypto whatsoever. Just hold on to what you have, okay, or put into USDT to save you from having more losses, and then you can rebuy at a lower price, or just as it is, hold on and just trade this instead. All right, now let me come back to Forex now. I've got all of these here, so I'm going to put Doge and all of them together. I'm going to put an alarm here as well, just in case. As soon as the price gets here, then we're going to go for the sell. So let me put this here. Here we go. So once I hear that alarm, then I know that we're ready to go. All right, so just keep your eyes peeled and let's ride this wave down. All right, so what else is there now? So let's go to what we had. Now last week was a very annoying week for a lot of us. The NFP news was very highly positive, but the price on all of the euro to US pairs or whatever to US pairs went long, which doesn't make any sense because that means that the US dollar has lost strength. And it lost some strength. Well, on Friday, it lost quite a bit of strength and it's continued into this week. So it hasn't been a smiley Friday. It was quite an annoying one, if I'll be really honest with you, especially with gold. Okay, now I'm gonna have to recover this account, but it's okay. I'll do it. But it's just that the market has played some very annoying games. If we go over to USD same thing. When the NFP news came out, the price went short instead of long. Okay, so I know they're playing a manipulative game. So I'm watching through these pairs. Let's do some breakdowns on them now and see what the price is doing. So I'm on the D1 anyway. I still don't believe the price has returned into any significant area of demand. Even if I went to the weekly, this spike right here hasn't returned into any demand zone at all. And so on the daily is the same thing. So I still believe there's a short at hand. I think that the market is just playing hard to get there, which is all right. Hasn't even returned back to here yet, but we did have a stop hunt on Friday. So what can we do? So I'm going to put this validation point here and let's just observe what's the price or what the price has done. And I'm going to put the other one higher up here and we can observe what the price done. Now, why I'm still confident about this short, I told you guys last week that we had this price action here. We had this movement here, which is what we needed, and it's gone short ever since. Since the NFPs come out, the price went the opposite way. I guess it stopped around about this validation point, but this validation point doesn't have a demand zone on it, so it wouldn't be able to last that long and give us a reversal to say all the way back to the gap. All right, but we did have enough movement to go for short action further down. All right, so today we've had a stop punt. It's a Monday, but it's still a stop punt anyway. I don't see any market structure break though. This is the only thing. So on the M30, I don't really see a market structure break to say we can go for a short. I don't really like the price action, if I'll be honest with you. And there is a chance the price might do a second one. But if the price does do anything, if we wanted to capture something, I guess the most plain and simple, easy way we can take this is just using this demand zone here. Now, this demand zone, the price tried many times. We took pound USD short, but the price tried many times to try to push short, but the body of the candle just wouldn't close beneath demand. We had 1, 2, and 3. And if you notice, they become higher up as you go along. So one wick, higher up wick, higher up wick. So this higher low formation here, this is a key to know that the price was just going to go bullish instead, which it did. So now that the price is back here, the only way I would take this, if this is truly the stop punt, then It has to get beneath here again. If it doesn't go beneath here, then I'll leave it alone. But if it did do, then I'll ride it this wave back down again on Euro USD, and probably not use pound USD instead, just to get that last short happening. At the moment, from the H4, it does look good though. We still have this H4 manipulation bar, and basically this candle represents a H4 stop hunt. So it should actually, in actuality, be going short. Now on the H4, it actually looks a bit better to trade. There's a much smaller zone we can target, which is here. All right, let's see on the M5. Let me check something. All right. So if I do this here, okay, so Euro USD on the return, it has given us a 5 minute stop on MSB and RTO. So ideally, this should be going short from where it is right here, or the price should be pulling up. All right, I'm going to debate whether I'm going to give this as a signal. I'll come back to it in a moment, but let's continue. All right, USD CHF, where are we? Now, USD CHF is also gone short, and then it did a long at the end of the day. Now, today has been quite interesting. The price has kind of just stayed around this wiki area and not really done much with it. Uh, the range is not more than 30 pips, not much action on it. I don't like the way it looks, but I believe USD CHF still has one more long left, just as the others do. Okay. Now, the spike from last week does represent a weekly stop hunt into a weekly validation point, but we're not in any supply zone yet. We're really not. I mean, on the monthly, I guess we are, but still, it's not really like a substantial area of supply. So I'm watching carefully what the price does. If I be honest, I don't like USD CHF right now. So there's no point of trying to force to trade it. Okay. So let's go to pound USD now. Now, pound USD was a bit of an annoying one. Now, I still locked in some profit. If you close with me, you should have got something out. But uh, pound USD was an annoying one itself. When you go down to the daily here, there's no demand. I mean, where the price spiked to is at the tip of the demand zone, but really you didn't get into this one. I guess if you consider this, then it was back into demand again. But either way, as I said from the weekly, I still believe the short is going to happen before the long. I just think we've just had a classic example of US dollar manipulation. So we have right here one, two, three lows that all haven't returned to this demand zone from this weekly stop punt here. So it's done all the trimmings, as I said, that it did a stop punt, market structure break. We had a return back here, but we didn't have a return to demand. And we had a very strong long take place due to pound news, but then the candles became smaller and smaller. Larger bodies, smaller body, even smaller until there was hardly any body left and more wick. And then we see a strong reversal. So this is a perfect signature to let us know how the money moved in the market. But this short is not done. There needs to be one more to return here. So we need the price to get back to 1.36374, somewhere around here, and then we go long. So how that's going to transpire, uh, it depends on how the market gives us the trade. The VP that's coming up next is on the D1 is right here. So at 1.38694. So if there's a stop hunt somewhere of this high right here, then we can continue going for a short. For now, it looks like GU still wants to push long a little bit more. On the weekly, I don't see any other validation point. That's the only one at this pink line here. So I'm expecting the price to push a little bit higher. If it went short from where it was, it wouldn't really make any sense really. But if it gets to this validation point, there is a high right here that the price could potentially go for. So I'm looking for GU to do one more long before a short, and then after we can get some short action. Now we'll look at the news in a moment to see what can help us, you know, get this short to push a bit further down as we want, and then we can go for a nice trade here. So I'm not ignoring GU at all. I just think it's not ready yet, so I wouldn't be trading it. I don't think it's wise to bother to try and trade it. All right. Now USD JPY was shockingly good. The price action was really nice. On the Friday, I guess if I'd thought about this properly, we had a stop hunt at the beginning of the day. We even had an MSB. We even had an RTO with the news, and then after it spiked down and gave us this short, which I guess is set to continue. But again, I'm still bullish on USD JPY short term. I don't think the price has done a significant enough drop to be able to go short. If you look at the pattern of price action from April, we're really in this strong bullish trend line at the moment. Although I can see it's starting to weaken, but it's not weak enough for there to be a reversal yet. So I'm going to wait for USD JPY to do something a bit more substantial there. All right. USD CAD, similar. USD CAD, I guess, was the most obvious one. And I did see in the morning, I thought, is the price going to go short? But based on my understanding of how the US dollar is and the strength that it has at the moment continuing on, I didn't expect this stop hunt to last forever. I actually thought the price would stop halfway, which is where it stopped off before the news happened, and continue. Because that can happen. Not every stop hunt provides a full reversal. So when I saw that the price actually pushed very strong from this stop hunt, I was quite amused and then annoyed as well, because that was an easy signal. But now the price is getting back to here now, and it's intriguing that possibly the price might continue going short from here and actually get into this supply zone and keep going. So I'm watching this now to see how the price is going to fare off. Um, Let me go to the H4 here. I still believe in the long, but I guess if this does do one more short, then it would be a understandable short here. The price is in H4 demand, and it'll be great to see. I mean, the price doesn't have to, but it'll be great to see the price maybe do a stop hunt of this low. So if USD JPY, I mean USD CAD gets into this area, it is a good enough area for it to go for a short. There's lots of supply zones all over the place, and just a short back down from here to about 60 pips with a stop loss of about 2 pips. I mean, even if we took this as a trade, if we got the stop loss of about 6 pips right now for 60 pips, then we are looking at about 1 to 10% made there. So actually, as a trade, this will be a good one. It's just the only main issue is that because it's not our major trade, we wouldn't want to take it. But I'm going to put the D1 validation point and see where it lands. So here's the D1 VP formed from last week. Let's see where the price action is of that. So here's our D1 validation point here. Now let me just do something now, because this is on the actual day. You don't know if the lines and the arrow that I'm, or the line I'm putting and where I've put the crosshair is the same. So according to this, the low is 1.23644. So I've got 6646. So it's about 2 pips beneath that. I think that will do. All right. So the price has just got to the validation point now, and there's a supply zone right here. So as a trade, is not a bad trade for a short. Okay. At all. Now we're getting into the 2 o'clock session. Let me put this right here. We're getting towards the 2 p.m. session. So if the price wants to do this return here as it is, and then I have to go for the low. Now, if it went for the low, my target would be basically just here, 1.2305. So it was a quick scalp, 2 pip stop loss at minimum, 6 pip stop loss at max, and we're looking for a sell from here. So if this happens here at 2, then I'll be looking to sell. Very simple trade on that one that we can run for ourselves. So let's see next. I'm going to come back to that because that looks good. AUD USD. Okay. So AUD USD looks very structurally similar to all the other pairs like Euro USD and USD CAD. Now it had a reaction here at this validation point, and the price used it to go long to a certain degree. But I do believe AUD USD is still bearish, especially because we've broken past this area here. Now what I'm looking for is how AUD USD is going to provide us a short, and it looks like it's going to have to be here. So let me change the colors back to the color system. So D1 VP is blue. On the H4, and even, I mean, from the H4 here, the price has no supply zones anywhere near where the price is right now. So the price would need to go long at least just so that we can get some sort of supply. On the H1 here, it looks like the price, we've had a daily stop on here. And if it's the same as Euro USD, then that might be just a ticket. This is why I'm still reluctant to trade anything. Completely trading this right now and just go in and wouldn't be wise. But if this is a short for real, then it will be a great one. But I guess I would like to see more from the price, especially because of how things are right now. But from the H1 anyway, I'm looking hopefully for the price to get back to this supply zone up here. and then we can see some sort of stop punt action there. So in essence, we have the A swing, here's the B, and then a C from up here. Now if I put the Fibonacci on here, where are we? From the Fibonacci, we're about just under 86, so somewhere around about here, or just over 86. I'm hoping to see some price action there, but for now, I won't touch it. If this truly is a stop punt and it is going to go short, then I'll let it go. Okay, just to give myself more time to observe the price carefully and to see what's going on now. The liquidity in the market is quite high, so I think you'll be okay to look at some cross pairs as well and see what we can gather from the price here. So I'm going to scan through these to see what's going on. Now, I was in Euro AUD and it stopped me out, and I think I'm going to get back in again. We have a new day stop hunt here. And just to describe it, I think it's a clean trade. This price is just playing a bit hard to get, but we had a stop hunt here of the previous day. Here we go. I'm going to put my position back on. We had a stop hunt of the previous day into demand. On the H4, the price has returned to this flip zone here, which is also this actually is a price cap, not just a flip zone. And now we're coming back to the other side, and I'm expecting a long to come out of this, but the price has just been playing hard to get. A very similar one that I saw was a Euro NZD. Let me see if I can grab that. I'll come back to it, but I'll keep looking. So, all right, Euro GBP, still not trying to touch that. Pound Japanese yen has entered into a range, so there's absolutely no point of trading. It's hardly done anything. AUD CHF, nothing on there. Nothing on there. None of these pairs have anything. I did have a couple of scans this morning to see what the price action is doing, but nothing there right now. Okay. So yeah, silver. This is another thing. Silver is one of the. I think silver and gold really did annoy me a lot the most, because there's no way silver should be and gold should be going long if the US dollar is gaining strength. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So whatever's going on here with the price action, we're gonna have to find a resolution. So I'm watching silver, mainly gold really, because silver is not really my main target. I'm really trying to trade gold mainly. So I'm just gonna watch this D1 validation point here, which is inside of this D1 demand zone here. And then the price does a stop hunt in there, then we could go for a short on silver. But I'd like to see if it's similar with gold. Right now, we do have a D1 stop hunt today. But reaction is not that great, but it's still on the D1 validation point to the T. So I'm going to watch it and see carefully what the price does. I'll come up to Euro NZD in a moment. I'm just going to quickly go to gold as well before we leave here. And I'll check out these pairs too. All of these pound pairs at the right here. Now they're not doing much either. I think pound CAD did the biggest movement. It started the day with a stop punt and then hasn't stopped going long since. But that wasn't the one easy one to catch. NZD Swiss franc. All right, here we go. So Euro NZD. Here we go. So Euro NZD has a similar stop punt to Euro AED right here. I like Euro AED more because it hadn't taken the high. So to explain what I mean, on Euro AED is just a pure liquidity void, and none of the highs have been taken here. When the price went short, or USD CHF short, okay, I'll go back and check that. When the price went short here on Euro AED, there was no highs being taken as it was going short. We just have a very strong liquidity void of about 120 pips. And now the price has stopped into this area of demand and it's gone long. Now, if you remember, Euro AUD, I was looking at it earlier because here was the weekly stop hunt. We just didn't get, we got a market structure break, but we didn't get an RTO. Instead, we got a return to supply. And it looks like this is the return. This is why I'm so poised to want to take this. Even though it's a Monday, I want to take it. But it's just that the price is just not giving what it's supposed to give, you know? So it's been a bit of a tough one. Now, Euro NZD has a very similar price action. We have a stop hunt in the new day. But Euro NZD seems to be holding up well since the stop hunt. It hasn't broken beneath the area. It's holding up very well, and I expect this to continue going long. So I'm weighing up the options. I might have to just take Euro NZD instead. Um, I'm just going to keep using H4s as the easiest way to be able to navigate. So when the H4 area, I think for me, as soon as the price breaks above here and continues going long, then I'll be very comfortable to take as many longs as I want on the way back up. But the price seems to be struggling at the moment, especially on Euro AUD. So I'm just hanging in there to see what happens with it. It's been all over the place. If it does break lower, guys, by the way, so if this price does struggle and it doesn't want to go for the stop punt from here and it goes lower, even though there's highs, equal highs all over the place here, then I know that we're going to get the RTO. And if it's going to give us the RTO, then what we got to do is just be ready to take a long from here. Now, my only caution, guys, with this, and I, I'm always watching the price from every angle, is the only caution would be if the price wants to decide to take not just this low, but the weeks before's lows here too. If it does that, then that might be a problem. If not, and it just stays where it is, because it looks very clean as to where it is, it's staying in this supply zone quite nicely, then we have the opportunity to go and get a good trade here. So I'm watching out. Now, if you're not too sure about this trade, and this is what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to use again the H4 is presenting very powerful. I think I like the H4 a lot because it's such a good range of time. It's not too long, but then it's not too short either. So if the price does a certain price action movement, a close, a break, or something, then it's quite clear that the price is, trying to make a movement to go whichever way. So if we get a movement of this nature like that, then that would be a very good way for us to say, okay, I'm going to get in now. Okay, it's only a few pips difference from where it is. It's not too bad. It's not like the price is going to run away with us. So these are why I've got Euro NZD and Euro uh, AUD there. So I'm going to go to code and I'm going to quickly go back to USD CHF and see what's going on. So gold again, they're still all playing the same kind of game, which is really annoying. However, I just have to be wise and think about what the price may decide to do. So with gold right here, from the weekly perspective, last week's price action movement of that spike going short was just a stop punt of the previous weekly low, and now the price is going long. But my problem is that even though we have a spike here, the price didn't spike into any demand zone. So to help you understand what I mean, if I go to the monthly demand zone starts from ends at 1738. Okay, and when the price got to this area here, we had a wick into the monthly VP, and the price is pushing long, but without really any strong demand. If I go to the daily time frame, this spike right here, I mean, you could argue and say return to supply, but it didn't return to the demand zone. It was only a few pips away as well, less than 50 pips. Which for gold can do 50 pips in one in a 1 minute candle. So it's making me wonder, what is gold trying to do? So I've made some considerations here that gold, there's this validation point here, which is also a round number, is 1802. So just very close to 1800, which is a very psychological level for every type of trader you can think of. And this area right here, if I go into the H4, there's also a supply zone hanging around here. Now I know this gap has to get filled, but I just don't think that this price movement here is the gap filler kind of price action movement. I think we have one more trade on our hands now. There is FOMC news on Wednesday, and if the FOMC news comes out to be what it's supposed to be, that might be the trigger to push gold back to fill the gap. So I don't want to be close to gold at all, because we're still looking for what we really want is gold long. Gold short is just because we're trying to trace it or trade it down to the gap. So I'm watching this area here. Last week the price came for the high. I took a little scalp on the way down, but then the price has come back to this area here. So I'm considering, I don't know if we get a wick close above this weekly high, but the body closes within the supply zone, then that's enough supply to go short again. If not, then and gold clearly closes above, then we're gonna have to look for another way to deal with gold. But we just don't want to miss this. At the moment, gold is playing hard to get. There's a lot of inefficiencies on the price, but it may not fill them all. a lot of lack of return to demand on the way up and down, but we will consider as the day goes on and into tomorrow, we'll consider what we're going to do there. Now, USD CHF short. Um, Let me do something here. What can I use? All right. USD CHF short. Yeah, it's most likely going to go short because we don't have any stop pan or anything to make it go long. So on the H4, let me use the D1. On the D1, I'll just let the price get back to this D1 VP here, just a little bit higher, and then after we should go for a short before another long. Well, USD CHF, the price action on Hugo's way, the price feed isn't that great, but the D1 VP is great. It leads us right to this supply zone. The price is already, funny enough, spiked into there. So all we need is some sort of short action. And it could go short from anywhere. I mean, this demand zone here, there's a flip zone right now. The price could go short right from where it is. And from this short, then the targets will be down to these set of lows, maybe even beneath here or down to here, or just down to the next D1 validation point, which is available, which would be here. So we have a short from, let's see the distance. So from where the price is roughly, we have a short of about 50 pips possibly. And if it goes lower than that, then it's going straight back down to the 90 range. So I'll watch out to see what happens here. But this is the target really, just beneath these lows here. All right, let's look at the news, guys. See what we have for the week, and let's call it a session. So I'm switching over now. Let's have a look and see what's going on with economic news. Okay, so I'll be really quick with this. Okay. All right, so let's see what's going on with the news here. All right. So here we go. So we've had news so far come out on the Australian dollar retail sales. Okay. We have a Bank of Canada's report, and we have a speech at 6 o'clock. Okay. Moving forward on Thursday, we have the interest rate decision at 5:30 in the morning. So there's quite a few pieces of Australian news, which is why I'm saying I think we could see the news push the price to where we need it to for the correct entry. Now, where things get serious, I'm going to skip over the news as quickly as possible. Where the things get serious is going to be at 7 o'clock when we have the FOMC news. The FOMC minutes always move the market by a large amount of pips. So be prepared at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. I'll be doing a trade with me on that day as well. I expect the US dollar. Either we're going to see now. There are times, and Alex reminded me of this yesterday, that sometimes when the NFPs come out very strongly positive, but the US dollar goes the other way, then the next set of news, they'll not, if you want to call it, correct the news to the correct direction it was supposed to go to. So maybe we may see the weakness on the strengthening of the dollar as we want. So pound USD going short. And I always told you guys Wednesday is when things really kick off. So I'll be watching to see what the price does, even the days, before that. So on Tuesday. We have another speech. A lot of Australian news this week. Royal Bank of Governor Lowe's speech at 3:15 in the morning. Okay. And then into Friday, we see that there isn't much news at all, apart from the unemployment rate. So we're going to see some major movement in the Canadian dollar. All right. So this is all we really have this week. I made it quick because we'll break it down in tonight's session. But this is where we are at the moment. So I'm expecting to see some strong price action movement from there. So guys, I wish you well and catch up with all of you guys later on, and everybody take care.